Hello, and welcome back to episode 4 of Committed Critics, where we're not only committed to our opinions, but each other. If you couldn't tell already, I am not Kevin Lau. I am Jordan Smearman from episode 2. Kevin couldn't make it today for today's recording session, but he gave us his blessing to go ahead and go with it anyways. So, I am not alone. I am also here with...
I'm Ryan Davis. Hello again.
Hello, I'm back. It's Zach.
You're just going to say you're back. I'm like, okay,
yeah, I know,
cool.
right.
All right, so we're going to kick things off right now, and this week's episode is all about video games. So we have all been playing our own video games, and we're just going to kind of talk about what they are. And
I think we're all collectively on Switch, except for maybe Zach.
I've been on Switch too, like going back and forth, but I recently did more PS4 today, so... Yeah. Ryan, you want to go first with what game you've been playing?
Yeah. So I made a very impulsive buy.
It wasn't that impulsive.
It was impulsive.
You had a $250 Target gift card. What else are you going to get at Target?
I'm so mad about
End
that.
tables?
End table.
I can get end tables and curtains and everything, but no, I chose video games because why spend your Target money on stuff that you actually need?
It's fine.
Because your apartment is fully furnished.
Exactly. It's a blessing. Anyway, I made my impulsive buy on Mario Odyssey because I only had 4 Switch games at the time, so I wanted a 5th one. And it was also $10 off, which was a blessing.
Can't beat that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with Switch games that are always like retail price.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started playing it. I'm like 3 levels in. It's definitely different from other Mario games. I'll give it that. Like, it's definitely... Have you ever played Mario 64 at all?
Not...
Or seen gameplay from it? It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
but like on steroids.
Oh.
So it's basically like...
Aren't you in like New York City?
It's like there's several different worlds.
Okay.
Like, so the New York City world is the Metro world.
Okay.
So that's one location you go to. I think that's like the next place after what I'm done with.
Mm-hmm.
But like so far, I've been to the forest area, or I guess that's the beginning area. I've been to the desert area where they just really have. I guess the Japanese decided the thing about the desert as Mexicans in it.
Oh, no.
So literally, you just talk to a bunch of dudes and they look like skull heads. It reminds me of Coco.
Yeah.
But it's like a bunch of like skull people with ponchos and sombreros, and they're like, "Ay, the heat is killing us."
I'm just picturing like dry bones and a mariachi band.
I mean, basically,
That's what I'm picturing.
that's essentially what it is. It's like you literally have one level where you just go into a mariachi band and you just dance, and then you get a moon from it, and I'm like, okay, this was just kind of racist, but okay, we'll just go with it.
So break down Odyssey. Is it like different from any like Super Mario Galaxy or like Super Mario Brothers, like Wii, stuff like that, older games?
I think so, because like most of the Mario games are like, if it wasn't going to the right, like just walking to the right and jumping, it was more of a kind of, you just went and fought Bowser villains as you just tried to save Peach. And there wasn't anything different. You could jump, you could hop, you occasionally got... In Mario Galaxy, I know you got, like, powers of Rosalina and the Star, but that's about it.
Right.
But this game is, like, you have a magic hat that allows you to possess the bodies of other people. So Mario is now just possessing people's bodies.
Cool.
Kind of disturbing in some ways, but also
Kind of
cool.
like Kirby.
It's neat.
It's like a reverse Kirby, yeah.
It's like Kirby.
Reverse Kirby. So, like, you basically go around doing that, and you have to use a hat to get to multiple platforms and everything. The whole basis for this one is that Bowser is trying to marry Peach again, but this time he has to buy all the perfect gifts for her. So he's literally going around the world putting, like...
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
Basically, yeah, pretty much. That's
And
all
I
he's
will
doing.
never
And I'm
marry
like,
you.
here we go.
Bowser's on his own Odyssey to buy the perfect gift. That's the game I want to play. It's just Bowser going to like Target or like Macy's. Like, what do I need to buy Peach? Just walking around.
She didn't register.
She didn't register here. Damn it.
Yeah, no, Bowser, I mean, I haven't seen him, like, I've only seen him, like, once or twice so far.
Right, yeah.
He just kidnapped Peach and was like, you're gonna marry me now.
And it's like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah, and so you're just beating up his goons who are just like, yeah, we're helping Bowser collect all of Peach's stuff.
Is Bowser Jr. in it?
So far, I've not seen him. Right now, I'm fighting, what are they called, the Roombas?
The Roombas?
Yeah, the
like
Roombas.
the vacuum?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, that's literally what they're called, the Roombas. I'm pretty sure, and I'm just like, okay, this is a weird fight. I mean, like, so far I fought a old lady with a ball and like one of those little
Chain chomps.
Yeah, chain chomps, but like they just throw it around. And like so far, I mean, the boss battles are kind of just easy. I mean, this game is clearly made for kids, but it has like the only problem I've run into so far is my Joy-Con, I guess, is just damaged or something.
Yeah.
So it keeps leaning me to the left.
Oh, you have the Joy-Con drag.
Yeah, Matt told me
my
about
brother
it.
had that too.
Oh no, there might be some option in the game's options where it's like joystick drag or some like dead stick, and you can like change it so it like doesn't drag to the left.
I did see a TikTok about how you can clean it too, so that way like you have to take it apart and basically use that can of air.
It's really throwing me off in a game where it's literally you gotta be precise with your jumping and your like possessing and everything else.
So does Mario Odyssey still have that like heart of Mario games, like where you go through? It's kind of like the same, not the same thing, but it still has like that Mario soul, you know?
Yeah, it like definitely has the whole adventure aspect. Like all the different worlds are fun. They're very different in the types of platforms you have. The desert world, which is more of you have to roll around and like stay like you have to stay kind of moving fast. The ice world, you slip around a lot. The water world, you don't drown. So it has that Mario magic that you still feel like this is a classic game, but it's also been revamped.
Cool.
So I definitely will recommend it if anyone has a Switch. Yeah, definitely worth it.
It was worth the impulse buy?
Yes. I debated on it for at least 10 minutes. I called a friend. This is basically Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Who Wants to Buy a Mario Odyssey.
That was me when I bought my Switch.
Yeah, basically. Like, you called your brother, you called your friend. We were all there. We're like, just get it.
I know, the last two. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, definitely worth it. So buy a Switch and then buy Mario Odyssey. Or buy, Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild,
We've both been playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but I think I'm further than you now.
So I started playing it, right? You let us borrow it, Ryan.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll play it. I was slowly chipping away at it. And I leave for like 3 days. And I come back, and Jordan is in some weird-ass part of the... I'm like, where did you go? And I realized... Oh my god, she's so much farther ahead of me in the game.
I'm really not, though. So this is kind of the first time I've played... What do we call it?
Ryan, how would you classify Mario Odyssey? Not Mario Odyssey, sorry, Breath of the Wild.
I classify it as an RPG.
Like an action-adventure RPG, probably like a light version.
Yeah, or some people call it JRPG because it's Japanese.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just one question before you go into it. Did you both make 2 separate save files, or are you both on the same save file?
2 separate save files.
So
Okay.
like, I'm playing my profile on her Switch, and she's on her profile.
Okay, I was wondering, because I was like, are they both like just overlapping?
Overwriting each other's progress.
It's like, who knows what the story is anymore?
No, thankfully not. And like, so this has been my first ever RPG game. So I've never played them. Like, I've always watched people play them. Like my brother, he always he was playing RPG games, but I never did it myself. I always just watched on the sidelines.
You could always just call it it's like a single player story game.
Yeah. Either way, still have never done them.
Right.
Because growing up, my things were Nintendogs and Animal Crossing and Mario Kart. So
a slice of life game.
Slice of life game. So this is kind of the first time I've played a game like this, and I don't even know how many hours I've played. It's been at least 5. Because that one night I played from 9 to 1.
Yeah, you did. I was hanging with my friends like back home, and like I was getting updates from Jordan like, this thing's huge, oh my god, or like, oh, I lost my horse.
My horse got stuck in a river, and I didn't know how to get it out. So poor Gravy, R.I.P. He just kind of despawned at the end, but I didn't register him. I just named him Gravy and waited.
I'll be honest, I have not ridden a horse in the game yet.
Really?
I did it for the tutorial and then never got one again because I'd rather just walk.
I have one named Cocoa Puff.
I have one named Oreo and Speckle and Choco.
I didn't have the patience to go get them.
Yeah, so because the night that I played for 5 hours, I called my brother too because he has, I think, over 80 hours into the game.
Oh yeah.
And I was just asking him.
It's a long game.
And I was like, have you played this? And he was like, have I played this? Check my profile, and it said over 80 hours. And I was like, okay, so you know. And so I was just kind of asking him different things, and I was on the phone with him, and he was just like, have you run into this monster yet? And I was like, no, and now I don't want to. Like the, what are they, like the centaur things that I showed you?
Yeah, the centaur.
Yeah, those things are weird, and I was like, I don't want to deal with that, so I avoided that thing, and
yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah, and I've been trying to do more of the side quests. So like I've only unlocked 3 memories so far.
Oh, you're further along than me in the memories department.
You finished the game, Ryan.
I haven't finished. No, I never finished the game.
My bad.
I
How about you
was a
finished it?
portion of the way through. I just fought the first just kind of giant monster.
Yeah.
I know you can go like find your memories,
Mm-hmm.
but I spent more of the time finding temples and
See, that's what I
unlocking
did, yeah.
towers.
Oh, okay.
So it was like you have two
Yeah.
different. You have multiple options of what you want to do. I just decided I'm gonna explore.
I got 2 memories. So like I had to do like the one to like get past that quest for Impa. I'm like, all right, but I was near one other one, so I'm like, I'll go do it real quick. And that's where I kind of stopped, and I started heading off to like do the main story. It's like I've been doing more of the main story, and like trying to figure out like what's going on, like find the divine beasts, go kill them all, and bring them to your side. And Jordan's been off like bringing goats back to to
Save the chickens.
save the chickens, and
Or the
then
cuckoos, as they
getting
call
more
them.
inventory space. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there with like 3 swords and doing nothing. I'm like,
I need more inventory space.
I figured out how to do it. My brother told me it was like that little tree thing on the way to was it Cacarino Village, something like
Yeah.
that. You would just talk to him. You kill these people, get his maracas back, and then you have to find the kokoro seeds, and you're good. But actually, there are so many kokoro seeds.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are 900,
Oh my god.
at least 900 in this game, and so like I was googling that too, trying to figure out where they were, and I've
You
I'm
thought
like
I spent a lot
4.
of time playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like 50 hours in that game? You're screwed.
Oh, I know. After talking to my brother, and he was like, "There are so many things," and I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
You should try 100% it too and get everything finished.
Oh my god.
No.
Get the platinum, not the platinum trophy. Does Nintendo Switch have like trophies or achievements?
They have achievements, but it's not like it's not like how PlayStation does
PlayStation
it.
or Xbox.
okay.
It's like it's more just like, hey, you might get this notification you did something special, like, or you might get it's more of an in-game like thing, because like I know with Smash they tell you like, hey, you played 150 battles or something, or like you played with every character once, so it's like something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not really a trophy system as
Yeah.
in the standard sense.
Okay.
I've been enjoying Breath of the Wild for the little I've played, and I think you have too.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
You gotta get better at fighting.
I do have to get better at fighting. I am very uncoordinated when it comes to Breath of the Wild. Although I can admit that I have gotten better.
Yeah.
I now remember which button is my shield.
That's
so we're
good.
getting there.
That's key.
How's your bow and arrow?
I'm
They're
actually
shit.
pretty good at my bow and
shit,
arrow.
Because I had a fight for today, and they're like level 3 and 4. I said, Jordan, you're like level 12. What's going on
I
here?
didn't even know I had a level.
That's what the little number is next to the item, like the weapon.
Wait, you?
Oh, I just thought that was like how powerful it was.
Well, it's like a level. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the higher the number, the more damage it does.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
Wait, you
Okay.
mean something you haven't been using the bows, or you've been throwing?
I
them
have
all?
been using the bows. It's just they're the
The
lower
shitty
level
ones,
ones.
like level
Oh.
3 bows, and I'm like,
You've-
I didn't know, but I have cool arrows. I have shock arrows now.
yeah, I wasted all of them.
You did?
Yeah, because I had to beat that thing for you.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're in like this high little part of the map for no reason. I'm like, why are you over here?
Okay, but see, I did understand why you do the side quest now, because if I didn't do the side quest and show that dude where the fairy garden is in the
Yeah.
Cacarino village, then he wouldn't have told me where one of my memories was. So that's what I thought was going to happen with the killing the 7 beasts, but no, I just got milk from it.
Can I also just note I only beat one of the divine beasts because I accidentally stumbled onto it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I feel that's a common theme in this game. I've stumbled upon like the castle. I'm like, oh, I'm at the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's like you're just walking,
The
like,
fairy garden.
oh,
Yeah.
this is the main story.
Or like I just like I'm walking, right? I see like a tower in front of me. It's like, oh, I just go up there, get the tower, and I got a fast travel point now. Cool.
I will say though, like the more I explored today, the less I did use a horse, and like because it's just easier to kind of fast travel and then you walk around and then you.
You also feel like attached to your horse, so you don't want to like lose it.
I know.
And
I
I'm
love
like,
Cocoa
I don't
Puff.
like. You register it, so you paid money for it, and like you got a name for it. And once you name it, you start getting attached to it.
Yep.
So now I'm like, I don't want to lose you, so I just board them up into the little thing.
That's
No,
why
I
you just
leave 'em
kidnap
in a
them.
village.
Yeah, you could kidnap them. Yeah, that's true. Just get a wild horse and run off, and then.
Exactly.
Leave it
You have
there.
no attachment.
No, okay. See, that doesn't work though because that's what happened with Gravy, and I felt bad, and I was like, "Do I have to kill Gravy?" And my brother was just like, "No, just leave it." And I was like, "I don't want to leave Gravy. He's special."
Well,
and then I ended up leaving him.
Well, I about left my horse Oreo almost got stuck behind a house.
I know. I
Like,
had to
fell off a
I
mountain.
saved Oreo. That's
I
just
fell
some
off a-
Charlotte's Web bullshit right
I fell off
there.
a mountain. I got caught behind a house. I'm like, I can't get this thing out of here. I'm like, and literally, it was like I seen like a movie. Like, well, pull up my sword, and Jordan's like, no.
Have you guys figured out how to change your clothes, or not change your clothes, but change their colors?
Did that?
Yeah, the dye place.
Yeah, I found it, but I don't have any dye or anything.
Yeah, I didn't die
Oh.
anything, but
You just gotta throw stuff that has that color in it. Yeah, you just be like, hey, I don't want this. This has color in it, and throw it in.
That's pretty cool. Like an apple.
I mean, I think that was the one. I can't remember what. Oh no, it's the. Dang it, what is it? It's a little. I think it's the little jelly things.
Oh,
I have
the
the
juju
jellies.
jelly.
Yeah, I think that's what it
I have
was.
jellies.
I just remember I threw a lot of them. I turned all my clothes white or black.
Yeah, I found a hood. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Make a green arrow.
Not only
Basically.
it is a green hood, isn't it?
No, it's like a brown hood. Or
I
like
thought it was a
gray
green hood. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It looks really bad right now because I like that blue garment I got from that person. I got like the gray hood. I'm like, this looks gross. Hey, I can get this dyed.
Yeah.
Now apparently I need to find more weapons.
Yes, you do.
Find a bunch of winter stuff too.
Yeah, good call.
That's
that-
the other thing. Yeah, okay, so I made a lot of, I cooked a lot before, that was my last save. I was just cooking a bunch of crap. And I made a lot of spicy seafood dishes. But I remember the old man at the Great Plateau, you can talk to him and he'll give you winter clothes.
Right, yeah.
You just have to make a specific dish. So I think that's going to be my next task, is to do that, because I know there's some memories up there that have like a snowy mountain and
Nothing's more of a pain in the
Cold.
ass than that first shrine that's in the winter, like in the mountain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I've got a bunch of food, ran across this bridge, and I'm like, come on. And I kept just dying and like slowly dying, eat the food, recharge, go up the mountain, get to the shrine. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I saw this funny meme where it's like basically playing Breath of the Wild as being a caveman and just being
Yeah.
like me. When I first went in, I found a stick and I accidentally stick the stick in a little fire pit.
Yeah.
And the stick was on fire. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I'm like just running with the stick on fire and I'm like, it's keeping me alive. And I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
I didn't think about that. That's
nothing
smart,
was
yeah.
funnier than when Zach was trying to light the blue fire for
Oh,
the researcher
God.
and didn't even see that there was a torch in the researcher's lab. So you kept chopping down trees and burning swords.
No, I got down to where the fire was and said, I don't have a stick. I don't even cut down a tree wood. So I took out my boomerang. I'm like, this should work. And I swiped it through, like, ran as far as I could with the boomerang. The boomerang went out. I'm like, damn it. So I go chop a tree, get another torch, run all the way up there. Gets like the last one. My torch dies. I said, shit. So I run back down, get a bunch of different trees, finally find one at like the base of the hill, run back up and finish the little task. It was a pain in the ass.
And
oh
then
my God.
I just found one in the lab, carried it down, and then it
Exactly.
lasted the whole
Thanks.
time and more. Yep.
There are two
See-
approaches to this game.
See, this is why I like when you play before me. Then I can learn and
Learn
not
from
do
my mistakes.
not do what
You're
you
welcome.
do. But now I'm in uncharted territory. Now I don't know what I'm doing.
But so I've been playing. I downloaded the new Avengers game 2020 beta because it comes out in September. I think it's like September.
Really?
4th.
That early?
Yeah, it comes out September 4th.
Dang.
And so I'm like, I'll play the beta because I'm kind of interested in the game. It sounds pretty cool. It's got cool ideas because it's Avengers. So I'm playing it. It's really it's good. Like it's not as fluid as 2018 Spider-Man from Insomniac. They really did a lot better with mechanics. But how do I?
What's the gameplay like?
So the gameplay, it honestly, you're gonna hate me for this, Ryan. Mm-hmm. So it's made by Square Enix, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep, Square Enix.
It's kind of reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts, a little bit.
Interesting.
Like the way you because you can punch enemies in the air and just juggle them in the air for a solid 15 seconds while you just punch them in the air.
Okay.
And then drop them back down.
Because that's realistic.
Yeah, but each character plays very different. So when you first load the game, you are dropped into the mission where you see from the trailers on the Golden Gate Bridge. Mm-hmm. And you start off as Thor. Cap's like, Thor, go see what's on the bridge. So Thor lands, you throw his hammer, and it feels pretty good. Not as good as the axe from God of War. Like, Thor feels kind of like a knockoff Kratos a little bit. So, I mean, he's fun, but he's not it's not as fluid. It's not as refined as Kratos is.
Kind of slow.
Kind of slow, a little more clunky. But Thor's all right. That's the only time you play Thor in the whole game is that one mission.
Okay.
So you go from Thor, you go up as Iron Man, and it's at first you're flying to the Golden Gate Bridge, and it feels kind of like a rail system. You can't stop flying in that moment, but I'll come back to that later. So you're playing as Iron Man, you're fighting the repulsors, you stop and you start fighting other enemies. So the way you control Iron Man is so you can be on the ground, walking around, just punching stuff. Fire a repulsor like a gun. Or you can hold X and you can hover a little bit. And you hover and you can do that same thing, fire repulsors, punch while you're hovering. And you can hit R3 on the trigger, the stick, and you go up and start flying through the city, blasting repulsors and stuff like that. So yeah, I like Iron Man right now a lot because he's very versatile. He's the only one that really can go up in the air and take out enemies that are in the air firing at you. he's really good like air coverage. After that, you play as the Hulk, and Hulk's pretty cut and dry. He's very much smash. You can just punch a bunch of stuff. The cool thing about Hulk is you can hold the right R2, and you're in rage mode, and you don't take any damage when you're in rage mode, but your meter goes down, obviously, so you're like punching stuff and like trying to build that meter back up. And then it flashes to Cap on the Chimera, which is the helicarrier. Cap I loved Cap. I'm really sad that's the only time you play Cap in the beta, because he's very much like Batman from Arkham City series, and and Spider-Man. He's very much like punch, throw shield, bring it back, do a vault over a guy, combo. He's very fun. And then if he's the Batman, then Black Widow is the Catwoman from the Arkham series. Like, she's very much the same way Cap fights. It's just a lot more. You can grapple, pull to a guy, like grapple him up, punch him. You can like pull the grapple, pull yourself up to a different ledge. Pull out your gun, start shooting, build your meter back up. And then her ult is awesome. It's like a stick, like electro staff, basically. And she just kicks a bunch of ass. It's awesome. I like Black Widow a lot for like how simple she is. And then of course you can kind of counter with a bunch of different characters. Like, I know there's counters for some of them. The biggest like counter like function is Cap, Black Widow, and kind of Iron Man a little bit. But it's the counter system's not as refined as Arkham Knight and Arkham City and like Spider-Man. It's very more rocky and kind of clunky. And then the last character you can play as is later on when you kind of like jump forward a little bit. You get a little message saying like, you're now with Bruce Banner and Kamala Khan, sorry.
I was like, this is in politics.
Yeah, sorry. Kamala Khan.
I was going to say, is Biden in this too?
No, thank God. Kamala Khan, who is Miss Marvel, she was on the Chimera during like the events of A-Day, which is like when the Avengers get disbanded and stuff like that, and the attack on the Golden Gate Bridge. And she was exposed to the Terrigen Crystal, Terrigen Mist. That's how she gets her powers as an Inhuman. And so she finds Bruce Banner, and they go off to try and find Tony Stark. And she's really fun, and she's a really cool character. Ryan, you might be a little annoyed by her because she's kind of like this is awesome, so freaking cool, like the kind of like Spider-Man like vibe where it's like, this is so awesome, like it's that vibe. But I find that vibe very endearing and stuff like that.
It's just gonna get repetitive after a while, isn't it?
It gets a little repetitive because like her callouts are kind of like her emotes during like when you're fighting random people, like it's the same thing. It's like wicked, like stuff like that. But she's very like down to earth, very lively. She brings a new like a new energy to the Avengers and stuff like that.
That's what I'm scared of, because Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel, is one of my favorite characters in comics. Yeah. And I'm afraid what they're going to do with her in this game.
She's very cool so far from what I play. And her powers, like her stretchy, she kind of like grapples the same way Black Widow does up walls. She can like kind of swing like Spider-Man across gaps with her arm. Her like range attack is just her like throwing her fist all the way across the map and punching someone in the face and blowing it back. Instead of like shooting someone, it's just like whoop, and then like uppercut in the face.
I will say that, like, watching you play it, and then as we read the Miss Marvel comics, or at least the first issue of it, she's very similar to what I feel like she would be in real life. So I do think, like, after reading the comic and then kind of seeing her in action, like, I do think it's very similar. Not I already said similar, but, like, very accurate when it kind of comes to it. So I think you could appreciate that, Ryan.
Okay.
On a side note, if you guys want us to talk about comics, leave a comment in the description below, and we can talk about comics too. On a side note, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't. Keep going with that.
I have an idea for an episode then.
I was like, I'll talk about comics. DC, man. I'm a DC fanboy.
You, Ryan, or you, Kevin, and Jordan talk about comics. I don't really comics that much. You guys read comics more.
I only read them for a class.
I mean, you've read more than I have. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you say?
I was gonna ask, like, so just kind of back to Iron Man, the flight system. Yeah. Like, how is that? Because I know most games, flight, especially when you're in a fighting game, like flight is the worst thing for.
I like it personally. So like when you first play on the bridge, it's kind of like iffy. It's like, I don't know if I like this. And then towards like the end of the beta, like the story part of the beta, you get thrown to these harm missions, which is like holographic, augmented reality mission, whatever it stands for. And basically you just go into a simulator and you fight a bunch of bad guys. And like Kamala gets put into like an Iron Man suit. And she can go, like, it's just like, it introduces you to the Iron Man aspect of the game. Okay. It's like a cop out. Like, she isn't, like, yeah. So anyway, it's just her like in the Iron Man suit, like as Iron Man's fighting different bad guys. But like once it takes you through a tutorial of Iron Man in that like system, and so like it teaches you how to punch, how to counter, how to like use like the right like. As you level up Iron Man, you can change from repulsor. You can hit like left on the D-pad and go to lasers, and hit left on the D-pad again, and go to rockets. So anything you fire, you can change. Depends on what you need. So like I think lasers are a little more like it's like streamlined, so it's like low damage, but it's always hitting an enemy. Repulsor's like the middle, so like you charge it up and blast a turret out of the wall, so it doesn't. You can finish it instantly. And a rocket's for like crowd control, so you fire a rocket into like enemies and like it knocks them all back. Gives you a second to like recover or take advantage of the time and go attack them all.
Okay.
But the flight, so like it teaches, it goes through like a little flight tutorial. So you hold X to hover, and like you're sitting there hovering. You can still attack while you're like hovering. You can go up in the air, come back down, punch them, do more combos, go back up, or you can fire their pulsers from the air, like I said earlier. And then if you hit the right stick, like I said, you change into like full flight. And I love doing the full flight because you just zip around the battlefield, like just it's so quick to get to like different enemies. Like if they're attacking your teammates, you can take them out really quick and then like come back down, help on the ground, go back up. And yeah, I like Iron Man probably the best right now as a character, and Kamala Khan. I almost said Harris again. God dang it.
Zach, we are not talking about politics on this podcast.
It's the same name in the same time frame. I'm sorry.
But they say it different.
Do they? So am I pronouncing Kamala's name wrong?
Well, Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's Kamala Harris.
Sorry, okay, yes.
No, but like so even with like flying around, you can just like still attack and everything.
Yeah,
like,
you're
when you're like going.
There's like
zippy.
there's like a little circle, like and you got a reticle in the middle, a little circle, right? And if you get an enemy in that circle and you hit the right like the fire button, it takes them, it hits them.
Okay.
It's like the targeting system's pretty. I'm pretty sure once you get like the rockets, you can like it's like smart rockets, so to go off after an enemy that's off out of your view. I haven't gotten that far yet, but.
So would you say you do like when playing this? Did you like feel like you were the Avengers? Like, did you feel like this is like what it's like watching the movies?
Yeah, I felt like I was Iron Man. I felt like I was Robert Downey Jr. flying around. The quips aren't as like Iron Man-y. He's like, I'm proud of myself. Like he's doing like the classic like cocky stuff like that. But the voice actor, it's Nolan North playing Tony Stark, and Troy Baker, who plays Joel in Last of Us, he was playing Bruce Banner, and Laura Bailey is playing Black Widow. Yes, and Nolan North also plays Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
They literally got the 3 actors I've seen in like everything, especially every Telltale game.
Right. Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah, but it's an all-star cast. It's really good, and the actress who plays Miss Marvel, she's really I can't think of her name right now, but she's really good as well. But the cool thing that I'm interested to do, I kind of want you to get Avengers. Because you need to download the beta and play it and feel it out. If you don't want to get it, then don't get it.
Okay.
There's a 1 hour weekend for the beta, which is next weekend. So I recommend downloading it and giving it a try. Because you can team up with your friends, make your own little 4-man fire squad of Avengers. So like right now, I've been doing all these like multiplayer missions by myself with like the computer AI following me around and stuff like that. If you have 3 other players who want to like join, like play with you, they can suit up. So like I can be Iron Man, you can be Cap, or whoever you want, like Hulk. If Jordan had like a console, she could play the other one, or if Kevin wanted to join in, be the other. Like we all could be like an Avengers and like complement each other's playstyle, kind of like Overwatch a little bit, not to the same like degree where it's like you need a meta, but like yeah, it's really cool. Like Hulk can like crowd control while Iron Man's taking out like the enemies in the air.
Yeah.
Are we going on Twitch now?
Basically, I'm down. Let's do it. Let's start streaming.
We did talk about that
Jordan's
yesterday.
streaming would be hilarious. Oh my god.
Let me tell you. So quick thing back to Breath of the Wild because it relates to the streaming. When I was playing just the 5 hours by myself, because I was here because you were gone, and it was just me in the apartment, and I was playing, I'm pretty sure our upstairs neighbors thought that I was getting murdered or something just because I kept screaming when like monsters would come out and attack me, and I'd be like I don't want to deal with you right now. It was like, oh my god, and then surprisingly I didn't die as much as I thought I was going to because I ran away most of the time, but I was like, I can't deal with this. I am too anxious for something like this, and yet I'm still playing.
Don't you love the music? The one that plays every single time you run into an enemy?
I know, I'm just like, I hear that and I'm like, oh
Music
my
ramps
god.
up,
It's like,
oh.
I'm screwed.
The worst part is like you're not looking at them. It's like, where is it? Where is
You
it?
hear the music, you're like, huh, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
You haven't fought the robots yet, have you?
Which ones?
Like the really big ones.
They like walk around like spiders and like
Yeah.
fire lasers at you.
Well, there's like those, but there's some in the temples that like are boss battles, and those are the most annoying things on the planet, especially when they have shields and they spin around.
The look of sheer panic on Jordan's face right now could kill someone.
I'm not ready.
Those are the worst. I think those are the worst bosses to fight, even more than some of the skeleton thing, whatever they are.
I can't know what they're called. Hobbikins, whatever.
They're all dead to me.
They're all undead.
The little pig alien monster things. I'm now reaching them where they have armor, and I can't deal with it. And then I saw like the chameleons coming out of the water, and then there was something as I was trying to sail to get to a shrine. There was something that kept throwing rocks at me, and that's how I died. And I was so sad. I was like, I don't know how to get you. So I just ran away.
But no, I recommend Event. I think you guys should give it a try because it's fun. I mean, it is a little kind of unrefined, I would say. It's not like cohesive, or that's not fair because we haven't played the full game yet. It's a little rocky as of right now. It is a beta, so give the benefit of the doubt. But I think I'll pick it up when it comes out on September for $60.
Does betas usually come out like a month before the game?
This is kind of new. Like I haven't some games have betas. Like they'll be like, oh, join the beta and like.
Because I remember Battlefront was like 3 months in advance.
Now, this is the first time where it's like 2 weeks before it comes out. Like this is new territory for me.
And they're like really pushing it.
Yeah, so I mean it's fun. I got an extra beta code gave to my friend on PC. Like I have one right now for my computer, but I've been playing on PS4 because there's no crossplay. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks.
Okay. Well, here's the thing: if we got another PS4 controller, could I play with you?
I don't think
is it all through online?
Yeah, I don't think it's co-op.
Yeah, because nowadays PlayStation and Xbox don't want to do co-op anymore.
Yeah, co-op's hard to come by.
That's just sad. That was so much fun. That was our childhood.
Yep, and now we're old.
Modern Warfare 2 co-op. Oh.
Yeah, even like Call of
Fine.
Duties would do betas like months in advance to test it. Like I did a couple of those, but like it was like Ryan said earlier, it was months before the game came out.
That's so weird.
This is,
Yeah,
like,
so you got
weeks.
time to change something if you need to.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so you can kill a bug over there.
Yeah.
there's
If you heard a
some
little
weird.
smack, that was me killing a fly.
Thank God it was on our microphone. I'm like, oh great, we're gonna have these tiny little footprints on the microphone.
Oh, I sure hope not.
And I was like, I mean, if you need me to...
It's fine. So going to the collective topic of the since Kevin's not here, we can have all the fun we want.
I do. Yes, we want to talk about Korra.
Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra.
Single series.
Yep,
too,
it just came on Netflix again. So you can watch it now. I will also say, as something, because I don't know when I'll be on the next episode, but I finally decided to start watching season 8 of Arrow.
Welcome to hell, bitch.
You won't see me doing
Wow,
that.
love you too.
I love you.
Yeah, so I am one episode away from starting the crossover.
Yeah, when you're done with Arrow, you'll come back on and we'll have a whole powwow about
I'm gonna
Arrow.
say because right now I don't mind season 8.
No, it's bad.
It's not bad.
For that instance, when you watch Crisis on Infinite Earths, I'm going to read the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic, and I'm just going to come back. I'm going to watch the crossover, too, just so I can compare. But I really want to see
Let's do it. Yeah,
what
I'm
kind
down.
of shit show.
We can stream that on Twitch.
That's copyright. That's hard. You can't make money off that.
That'd be funny.
Do you want the FBI to show up here?
Yeah, we get a copyright strike. I don't want that.
Did they really want to come here?
No.
I'm gonna say it's Southern Illinois. I don't know if they
Yeah.
want to come here. Yeah.
So Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra. We binged it all together.
And we all three of us stand that Avatar is better than Korra. Correct?
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Just to note, the books or the seasons, I guess you would say, is air, spirits, change, and
Balance.
I was about to say order, but that's the theme
Oh, I
of
didn't
it.
know. I couldn't even tell you what those were.
I will put money on the table right now after Kevin finishes like Avatar, finishes Korra. He'll come back and say, I like Korra more than Avatar.
Probably because of the themes in
Because of
it.
the themes, the characters. I don't really have that very good characters.
I do
It's
n-
Tenzin.
Like Tenzin and Bolin and Jinora.
Jinora.
And Boom Jew.
You can make the Jesus. You can make the argument for Korra. I mean, I bet he can, but
She's like likable in some scenes, and then you want
Yeah.
to rip her throat out in the
Yes.
others.
yes.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. Legend of Korra. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
So I was the first person to watch. They just watched this, so I watched this when it was coming out. So coming out, it was like something that most people don't know is that the first season was only supposed to be one season.
Right,
There was
yeah.
never supposed to be a second, third, fourth season. It was just supposed to be that one thing kind of like an epilogue to Aang's legacy.
Right, yeah.
And then we're done. But people were like, let's make a second season because the first season was good. The villain, Amon.
Yeah, it actually was.
Terrifying.
It was good.
Yeah, like it kind of made Avatar darker than what, like, because Aang's journey was dark.
Right.
But this was like.
Not as dark as this.
Yeah, like this was terrifying. They deal with PTSD in this series. Like, Amon, the first villain, was a terrifying villain to face off against. And so people were like, this is great. We want more of it. But the problem is the first season kind of ends as it would have been a conclusion. And so they had to be like, oh, we have to like make new stories because we kind of just concluded this, but now we have to keep going.
We finished it. Oh, shit. Wait.
So second season is very rocky.
Yeah.
So
It's a little rough around the edges.
I waited a year for that, and I was like, oh, well, this was something.
For context, Ryan, you watched Avatar when it came out, right?
Yeah.
On Nickelodeon? I did too. Like, I was a huge Avatar fan as a kid.
I did not.
Jordan just watched it recently within the last year. So,
Yeah.
just for context.
Yeah, so as a kid, like, this is my childhood.
Right, me
and
too.
then I'm watching this, and I'm like, I think Korra came out like 2012. Yeah.
I watched the first season of Korra as it came out too, and I was like, all right, it's all right, but
Yeah.
like nothing to rave about. Like it's a good ending for like the whole series. Like cool.
And season 2 just kind of went off the rails. The first half was like strong.
Yeah, it's got strong origins, strong ties. Yeah.
You get a little bit of origin Avatar, and then gets the second half, and you're just like,
What the frickety?
someone was on shrooms when they did this last season, end of season 2.
And
You know
then
they- you know they
decided that
saw-
should just be the series finale, but it wasn't.
Hang
They
on.
still made 2 more seasons.
Real quick, when did new Godzilla movie come out? Was that
2014.
2014.
Did Legend of Korra season 2 come out the same year?
Nope, because the final season was in 2014.
So
Technically, the mech spoiler. Yes, there's a slight spoiler there, but yeah, that's technically when Godzilla was coming out.
This is spoiler filled, but hang on real quick. So you're telling me like the creators of Godzilla saw the Legend of Korra season 2 and were like, yes, let's remake Godzilla.
I think they watched.
no.
I think the creators of Legend of Korra watched Pacific Rim and was like, "Let's do that."
it.
And I'm like, no.
Twice.
I was so upset with that.
Yeah, they did a giant like beast battle twice in season 2 and season 4.
Yeah, it's like at least the season 2 one. No, I can't even say that one made sense. The season 4 one at least has science to it, but like at the same time was stupid.
It was
because you look at Aang's history and you're like, oh yeah, the most advanced thing they had was probably like those airships and like the submarines. And you get to Korra's time, and it's like, we have mechs with giant laser cannons.
I think we need to specify like because I had mechs in season 1 and those weren't too bad for me, but the mech at the end of season 4 it was kind of like what
The season 1 mechs were like, it was
too much.
It was like a steampunk. It was like steampunk.
Yeah, steampunk. Yeah. It's like, how do they make energy for this? I know it's like the whole lightning and there's like some weird core it had, but like it wasn't really explained.
It was like, season 4, they were like, we have spirit energy, and so therefore the mech runs on spirit energy.
Right, yeah. I'm just, it's weird.
Yeah, season 3 was the best, though. I don't know if you guys think that, but season 3
I did
was...
like
season
season
3. And yes, you're right. The spirit energy was the thing. I just forgot what it was.
Yeah.
It was so forgettable.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember any of this right now. Not gonna lie.
Season 3 was the
Season 3 was good.
Red Lotus.
Zahir,
I did like season 3. I liked those villains, and I liked how it showed bending in a way that we didn't think bending was possible. Like especially with the waterbender who didn't have arms.
Yep.
And now how she could still bend because her arms became water, like
Right,
octopus arms. I thought that was cool.
What would be more terrifying, a waterbender who had no arms but was still bending, or the blood bending?
From Hama.
Yeah, not the slightly BS thing they did in the first season of Korra, which is still terrifying, but also like you just made him OP.
Yeah, I think Hama is more freaky. Like, I like the waterbender with no arms in season 3 of Korra. That was more like practical because she's disabled, doesn't have 2 arms. So like, we'll just give her water. She'll bend water tentacles, give herself some arms. It makes sense to me. Like it's more like practical in my head, whereas Hama is just insane.
Yeah.
But with season 3 though, I did really like how it showed different forms of bending. So like we had the lava bending, we had the bender with no arms.
Subtypes,
The subtypes. I thought that was cool.
Airbenders could fly, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I did look up, I think I told you guys this before, but with lava bending, that's when like an earthbender and a firebender come together, which makes sense because a lot of them intermarried after the Fire Nation took over the Earth Nation and made colonies there.
Well, that and like Bolin and Mako are a firebender and earthbender, so it makes sense why Bolin can have lava bending.
Slight spoiler there, but This is
Sorry, it's
this is a spoiler.
If you're
thing.
coming here and we're about spoilers in 2020, please go back and look at 2020 and realize the bigger problems we had.
Right. Legend Korra came out in 2012 to 2014. People,
We're fine.
And by the time this airs or this is broadcasted,
It'll be on Netflix for
like a month at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. Binge watch, people. Come on, we
binge watch.
We did binge watch it.
Watch. Wow, I can't talk.
We did like what we did
2 different cities.
Two sittings, 2 different seasons in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
How did we do that?
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun, tons of cookies and snacks.
Barely made it through season 4. I could tell everyone was drained.
Season 4, it was like, okay, I had hope. I'm like, it can't be that bad. And then we got to the end, I'm like, okay, it was that bad.
All right.
It was just not a good way to end the series.
So kind of like let's talk a little bit, I guess, about the themes and villains of seasons.
Break it down.
Only just because so season 1 we have Amon and we have Tarlok,
Right.
who are the 2 villains on 2 different opposing sides. One's with the non-benders, one's for benders, and the whole clash behind that is our non-benders being oppressed.
Right.
So what's your thoughts on that villain hierarchy?
Well, watching season 1, like right during like the heat of like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, it was very like, oh, this is really reflective.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed that theme a lot because it's like, oh, it is like non-benders really have no power against the bender if you think about it. Like, yeah, you can get a sword like Sokka or a cool boomerang, but like or Tai Lee who can do G blocking. I guess they could learn that like they did in the first season of Korra. But even so, like, yeah, the equality just wasn't really there, and like I wish season 1 would have went back and kind of been like, they stopped him on like halfway through the season and realized, oh, Tarlok's the real villain here. Like he's the one like creating all this inequality, and like Korra as the Avatar has to like help the non-benders out and like bring down Tarlok, and not like instate equality, but like give that equality hope and stuff like that, and take down like the bad guy in that.
Yeah.
Is that a valid point?
No,
yeah.
That makes sense to me because Amon was slightly radical because the whole taking bendings away, but like he did have a point. I like the idea of making him not the villain, but not necessarily the hero either.
Yeah.
And it's like Korra has to solve this because it's her job as the Avatar, rather than Amon's just a creepy psychopath.
Yes.
Okay, Tarlok.
Yeah.
That was season 1 or that was season 2?
Season 1. Unalaq is season 2.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
A lot of waterbending villains for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of confused. I was like, wait, who the fuck was Tarlok again?
He was the council member who was Amon's
the whiny dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that now. All right. I'm up to speed again.
I mean, just like I gotta remember this. This was like what a month ago. Yeah, no, Tarlok and Unalaq were kind of. I mean, not Unalaq. Tarlok and Amon were very. It's an interesting story. I wish they had kept the whole. Amon was a non-bender. I get why they made him a bloodbender, but like, it would have been cooler if he was not. And I like the whole the mention of like you don't really notice the inequality in the original series because like Sokka was kicking ass, Suki was kicking ass, Ty Lee was kicking ass. And you get to the Legend of Korra, and it's like,
oh, wait a minute, yeah.
Non-benders ain't doing anything.
The one thing I do want to point out is like that one scene in season 1 where it's like Tarlok's rounding up all these non-benders, and Korra's like, hey, what the hell? And he's like, all right, go to jail. And like Korra like goes get Tenzin. Tenzin's like, let him out. And they're like, okay, like they kind of like put their like shrug and like, oh, whatever, okay. But yeah, that scene's really good for me because like it shows that like, well, it's only one scene. That's like the point, like the theme of the episode is in that one scene.
I did also really like how they kind of showed how bending has evolved since Aang's time, especially with pro bending.
I thought that was cool.
I thought pro bending was interesting. I know we have friends who would disagree and think that it's pointless, but like, I did kind of like seeing people using bending not just for fighting.
Yeah.
And like, or like to heal. Like, I liked how it showed like it can be competitive.
Well, competitive and like, benders, if they need money, they have this cool talent. Like, fight with it. People like watching people bend and fight, and then like the lightning thing where it's like lightning was a rare technique in Avatar. Well, I mean, it's been 70 years. People have heard the stories of Zuko, Azula, and Iroh. Like,
it makes sense why it would become a popular thing. I mean, like look at metal bending. Metal bending became a worldwide thing. So like, yeah, a whole city. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. I guess lightning would become.
Electricity and power, and like you have like firebenders who can use electricity and power generators. Like that makes sense to me. That's not like the like.
Like it's sad because like
Yeah.
what's the rare ability of firebenders anymore? But at the same time, it's like it makes sense because we saw mostly firebending in Avatar. So
Right. Yeah.
Move on to the other elements.
Yeah. So the theme of season 2.
Spirits, kind of religion, but also kind of I guess chaos versus order. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's more.
More is good versus bad, I guess. Again, more or less.
Yeah. It's like the forces of darkness and light coming together and clash and yada yada.
In the 1920s announcer voice.
No.
And now.
I love 1920s announcer voice guy.
It wasn't bad, but it will never compare to Clone Wars.
What do you mean?
I like
the
the Clone
opening
Wars
voice.
announcer voice better.
Oh, Tom
and like
King?
yeah, I like him better. But I did like kind of the recap thing. I thought
Across
that
the
was cool.
galaxy.
I
But-
mean, it's either that or you get previously on Avatar.
That wasn't bad either.
I mean, no.
Yeah, let's just skip season 2 themes. It was kind of lame.
Yeah, but like I did like how it explored the spirit world a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
And I liked how the different aspects. I liked how Iroh came back and he was just chilling in the spirit
Shows
world,
the
just being
spirits,
like,
have
"What
some
up?"
tea.
I'd be like, "That's fine. That's how I'd want to be."
I think I enjoyed because it explored the history of the Avatar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
You kind of see how the world came to be. It's like you realize firebenders are technically the first Avatar. Like
Right.
the first Avatar was a firebender.
Right, yeah.
And technically, the Avatar we technically start out with is technically Roku.
Right.
But the whole show was based around Aang.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too, seeing that. But season 3, I think, had better themes with like
Oh, definitely.
anarchy versus
Order.
order. Yeah.
Because the villain's whole thing is like freedom through anarchy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely you kind of see like, is it good? Is it bad? I mean,
Right, yeah. It's like Zahir is that like, he's the hero of his own story. He's trying to bring about change, hence the name of the book, through means that are not such a good means. Whereas Korra and like Tenzin, who are trying to bring about change in these airbenders, aren't. It's kind of like the Jedi in some way, like in Star Wars, where it's like, yeah, the Jedi are altruistically good, but at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, hang on. Like, maybe we shouldn't kidnap all these people, bring them to a Mary Temple, and make them into this culture. Let's maybe, like, let them have their own, like, beliefs and resurgence and, like, make a new, like, airbending culture. Like, that's what I was hoping would happen, but...
it kind of goes that way. You kind of
yeah, with the
see
swirl
in
suits.
Season 4, yeah, like season 4, they're still individualistic because, like, airbenders are more like, we see them in Avatar, they're technically supposed to be nomads, but they
Right.
basically just stick around where they are. Like, Aang occasionally visited places because we know that from places he, like, talks about, like, I went here.
Right, yeah.
But, like, you don't really see nomads kind of roam in the original series, mainly because they're all,
Dead.
but...
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I wish that would have been more of a drastic dynamic change.
Yeah.
But and in season 4 themes, you got
It was
Empire versus Rebel.
it's technically supposed to be order. Like that's the whole theme of it. Is like
Yeah.
because if Zahira was chaos, then Kuvira is order, and she's just like I want to restore the Earth Kingdom to what it was. Yes, I'm gonna murder everyone to do it.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, she will. In my opinion, she was the most psychotic of them all. Because like
Yeah.
the other ones, they were clearly evil, whereas she was like clearly like she was trying to be good, but she was like.
She had her own goals and wanted to do it and just didn't realize how far she was going to do it.
I think she realized this. She was about to chop off people's hands on the train.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she didn't care. That was the thing.
Yeah.
She didn't care how far she was going. She wanted her goal.
Right. It was like the other villains wanted to kill the Avatar. Like they were like the Avatars inherently need to be destroyed. Where she was like, I'm gonna kill the Avatar because you just happen to be in my way. I don't care if you bring balance to the world.
Right. Yeah.
Like she was just kind of cold hearted.
Right.
And she was gonna kill her fiance. So
Woof.
yeah, true love, everyone. That's how it goes.
And that's the Legend of Korra segment. I guess we can segue
Well,
now.
No.
Well, I do want to ask what you rank the seasons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Ranking the seasons. Okay, I can go first. Or do you want to go first, Ryan? So we have a baseline.
I mean, mine's is 3, 1, 2, 4. So you know, Red Lotus, Equalist, Unalaq and the Dark Avatar, and then Kuvira and her Empire.
I think I'll agree with you, Ryan. I think I'll go 3, 1, 2, 4.
I would say I thought when we ranked it all after we finished the series, all of our rankings were the same.
Yeah, we all agreed on it because
Yeah.
season 1's pretty good.
Season 1 is
3
good.
is pretty good too.
Yeah,
But
4.
the line like season 3 and season 1 could be interchangeable. Like it's one like one or the other, and that was a good like 40 feet of crap, and then season 2 and 4.
Yeah, 4. That time skip just really messes
Yeah.
everything up.
I did like. Where were the baby bison? What season was that?
That was season 3.
See, yeah.
Baby Bison.
That's
I
when-
love baby bison.
Of course you do.
the fights in season 3 were also better.
Yeah, they were.
They were really
It was like
good.
Tenzin versus the Red Lotus was just.
Him going down. Oh my god!
Honestly,
I thought he was
would.
dead.
I wouldn't
thought,
mind
I'm
a
like,
spin-off series with just Tenzin.
I still think that after our Kyoshi series I pitched last episode.
Oh, that'd be good.
Woo.
I agree with Jordan on the whole Tenzin. Like, I want to see what happened between like Korra and Aang. Like,
Yeah.
what's the world like when Aang is like peace?
Right.
Like, you have to watch his kids grow up and watch the kids of all the other Team Avatar
Right.
kids grow up. Like,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I think Korra was a nice change because everyone was kind of like, oh, we want to see what happens, like, after Avatar ends, which obviously that's what those comics were for, but, like, I want to know what, like, 30 and 40-year-old Team Avatar was doing.
Right, yeah.
Like, I want to know, like, how that was.
It'd be a cool dynamic where it's like Aang's trying to be like the Avatar still, but also he has 3 kids to raise
Right.
back home, and like obviously he was a kind of a shit dad. Too.
Right.
yeah, him and
Kaya
Toph were both bad parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think if they could do that too. But also, something that happened that's related to Avatar is that the original creators
No, we're
left
fine.
the live action version that's supposed to be coming, that Netflix is producing.
Just cancel it.
Just put a
kill it.
bullet in
Put
his
it down.
head.
Put it down like a dead dog.
It's not gonna be good. If the actual creators of the show are saying they don't want to be a part of this, that's a sign that something's wrong and you need to just dip out.
Okay, but early predictions. Do you think it's going to be better than the live action movie or worse than the live action
I
movie?
think statistically it has to be better.
It can't be worse. If they here's the thing. The only way they could be worse if they just went like his name isn't Ong, it's
It's Uno. Oh my god.
It's like if they just like stumble over, I'm like, you can't go worse than not getting the actual names of the characters right.
I think because Netflix has a good track record with like the original series, I think there's some faith. I don't think it'll be true to the original creator's
Yeah.
vision. Also, if the creators of Avatar are listening to this by any chance, I'm telling you, Kyoshi prequel series, just do like 2 seasons, be great. Anyway, but yeah, I think Netflix we can give them some merit to be like, okay, you can have a little bit more leeway than
Right.
what's his nuts who directed the movie.
M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah.
M.
who
Night
just
Shyamalan.
kind of butchered it.
I mean, he had like I watched like interviews with him. He had like good intentions, but did not go the right way.
Yeah.
I will only say this series is great if, and only if, there's an entire episode, an hour-long episode dedicated to the Great Divide.
Oh my god.
Only that.
Oh,
I just want an hour-long episode of the Great Divide where we just watch them walk for at least 40 minutes, just
those weird
arguing.
No,
canyon
I
spiders.
just want a full version of the Secret Tunnel song.
Secret tunnel.
Oh no, if they do this, are they going to do Leaves from the Vine? I can't watch Iroh cry again.
From the vine.
Oh no.
I don't want I don't want an entire episode dedicated to Iroh crying.
Okay, but I don't want the full part series where Appa gets taken either.
Oh,
like I know
God,
that's
I won't go-
important, but like I don't want
I
that.
don't do that again.
That's gonna be a whole thing. See, that's what I'm afraid of.
Right.
Are they gonna actually go with the original series, like
Yeah.
those episodes? Or are they gonna try and change it up
Oh,
to
like
make
if
a
they make like
dramatic
just a live
effect?
action version of every single episode.
Because it's
No.
like, because like I know one thing I've played like different games. I've seen different shows. Like when they try
Right.
to take source material, they try to like change it up. Like I know with Batman Telltale, they made
Right.
it so that the Waynes are originally gangsters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So it's like, are they gonna do that with Avatar? Like, oh yeah, we're not gonna have Appa get kidnapped. We're gonna have.
Sokka get kidnapped.
I don't even know how that would work. If that would actually affect them. Maybe Aang gets kidnapped.
Just
I
had
don't
that
know.
cactus juice and
Yeah.
that was it.
I think.
Azula stabs Aang instead of shoots him with lightning.
God.
Oh.
I think the best way. I think it'll be one season. I'm hoping like 10 episodes, maybe 30 minutes or an hour long each episode. I think it'll be condensed. So like the first episode is like maybe like episodes 1 through 3 of the first series of the first season, and then you can kind of like combine Omashu and Haru's town,
I think
kind of in the same way.
I think they're gonna get rid of episodes they probably have Omashu because Boomy is an important character, but like I think they're gonna get rid of episodes that are kind of like they're there but they're not like super important. Like
you can get rid of the Great Divide.
Like Great Divide's gonna get rid of. I think they're gonna get rid of the Fortune Teller. They're gonna get rid of.
Oh yeah.
And or the episode. What was it? Dang, I just thought of it. It's like a very, just.
Or the water breaking scroll.
No, not the water, because they'll probably still steal it, but they won't be like they're gonna have to outrun the pirates or anything, or they're not gonna have to. You're not gonna see Iroh and Zuko getting kidnapped by the Rough Riders.
Oh, they're not to do the one where like Toph scams people.
Right, like they're gonna throw episodes like that out. We're not gonna see Katara and Toph do spa day.
Right.
Well, I think you could do like Omashu and Haru's town. Like it could be like an A/B plot. Like Aang's trying to find Boomy. While they're doing that, Katara and Sokka are like, oh my god, these Earthers are being taken to this prison out in the ocean over here somewhere. And like they go liberate them while Aang's talking to Boomy and stuff like that, trying to find Boomy.
Have they announced the cast for this at all?
No, there's no cast.
Okay, because
it's in very early production.
Because I'm like, they also can't do the casting they did for. Because if I see White Sokka and Katara again,
I'm gonna Jasper from Twilight.
Do you mean Tessa from Transformers: Age of Extinction? That
was before.
It was before Age of Extinction, but still, I'm like, they can't get, because the only person I knew in the entire casting was Dev Patel.
Yeah, nice.
And even he's like, I don't talk about
wasn't he
this.
Zuko?
He was Zuko.
He was Zuko.
Slumdog Millionaire.
See, I need to rewatch the movie.
No,
you don't.
No,
you don't want to rewatch it.
Okay, I will say, kind of rewatch it, but rewatch it when you're like drunk.
Let's get drunk and do it.
You can't watch it when you're sober, because we did that. Me and Man and Kimon did it, because it was like the end of this year. It was actually, because we were like, let's just watch it. It's on Netflix. And we watched it, and we're just like, this is awful. We're roasting the entire time, and I was like, imagine if we were drunk and watching this.
Right.
Like, the amount of... We can do a whole episode.
After Kevin finishes the series, we could all get together and do it. You can come down here.
Just do a drunk episode of...
We got a spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Watching Last Airbender movie.
All right, real quick. We have like 2 minutes of the podcast. So, Ryan, what are you excited for?
Like coming up? Well, apparently Avengers is coming out, so I guess
soon.
I should slightly get excited for that. I still don't know if Cyberpunk is, but I'm also watching Umbrella Academy season 2.
Yeah.
Boys season 2 is coming out very soon. So I'm really excited for both of those. And other news, tragic thing, Kiss Anime got killed. And for people who don't know what that is, that's basically 1, 2, 3 movies for anime.
Ripperoni.
Yeah, Japan's copyright laws came into effect.
Pour one out for our fallen brothers.
Some sake on the ground.
Sake on the ground.
All right, you guys?
Funny enough, Boys season 2 comes out the same weekend as Avengers, so some tough choices made.
I was say we're not going to see any of us.
Jordan, go ahead.
Well, I guess I am excited for Boys season 2. I forgot that was going to be released here soon.
Really good.
I'm excited to keep playing Breath of the Wild and seeing how many more times I die or scream.
Just make a count. Just make a scream count.
Honestly, I probably should. And I think that's really it. Like, I haven't been looking out for things, but I'm definitely excited for The Boys season 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for Avengers and Boys season 2. So, all right, with that, Jordan, you want to take us out?
Sure. So this has been episode 4 of Committed Critics, where we are not only committed to our opinions, but each other.
Is it episode 5?
No, it's episode 4.
Okay. Sorry.
I just edited the one.
Sorry. I edited it too.
Yeah. So we have a Twitter. So you can follow that at COMMITTED CRITS. That's Committed Crits, which is always fun. And then if you are considering donating so we can be on your favorite podcast streaming services, that would be amazing too. I think it's a Patreon?
No, it's on Podbean.
Podbean,
yeah.
Podbean.
Kevin will get that together, and then we'll put links and wherever and stuff like that on Twitter and stuff like that. So
give us money.
All right, so
our goal is only $10 a month, though.
$10 a month. Yep. So that would be amazing if our listeners did that, because we appreciate that, just like you hopefully appreciate our opinions. So this has been episode 4. Signing off.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.